One of the biggest issues that people have when they learn programming is that they are taking too much time to even get started. So you heard me talk about this quite a lot. Everyone is talking about this quite a lot, but if there is one big differentiation between people who are successful and those who will never be successful, is how fast they start. So I kind of noticed that in my program, if someone joins and starts doing something like day one, right, without hesitation, without delay, the chances of them being successful are growing exponentially. I don't have a specific percentage for that. You can think about how it was in school, right? You're going to school, and then if you start learning from day one, you'll obviously be able to finish with high grades, especially if you do your diligent work. But if you start in third month to learn what you were supposed to learn in first week, then you'll not really be that productive, you know? You need to start doing things as fast as possible, and you also have to do a lot of things. One thing that's immensely important is how much volume you put into your skills. I was quite fortunate because when I started learning programming, I was already self-taught in many areas. I was self-taught in painting, okay, so I started teaching myself how to paint, so I was putting a lot of volume. I was self-taught in music, so I started making music by myself. I just knew that I have to trust time and I had to trust volume. And I knew programming is not about luck, it's about getting the skill. And to get any skill, you need time and volume of training. This is so important. You know, if you wanna find the perfect woman, you won't find her by dating just one person or by going on one date with one single person. You need to run through them, right, until you find something that you like, because as you are dating different women, again, this channel is going to the wrong direction, but if you are dating different women or different people, you start to understand what you're looking for in a different person. So you need a lot of volume. When it comes to learning skills, not just programming, because programming is just a skill. Literally, it's just a skill. It just looks different than any other skill, but essentially it's the same skill. If you put enough volume of training into this skill, then inevitably you'll become successful. You could get bad habits and everything and so on, but still, if you just do the thing long enough and you have a lot of volume of training for each skill that is needed to learn the main skill, you'll become successful inevitably. And then the last important part, which is I think it's equally important, okay, there are three things: starting, doing enough volume for each skill, and then giving a about doing your best work. There is this gym analogy, you know, I was sick the other day. I was really sick, and I was I don't want to go to the gym. I really didn't want to go to the gym. This summer was pretty weird for me. I was going to the gym 1 week, and then I had to take 1 week off because of holiday. I had to travel somewhere, I had to do something, blah blah blah, and then I kept, you know, destroying my progress in the gym. Put a lot of effort last year. I grew quite big and then started declining, and now I said, you know what, I'm not gonna break this week again. Maybe I'm gonna miss 1 day or 2 out of the 4 that I have to put in, but this is not gonna be the day where I'm gonna quit. And I wasn't feeling that bad as I was feeling 2 days ago. So 1 day after I went to the gym. So I went there and I was okay, I'm not gonna go 100%, but I'm still gonna be trying to do at least 60%. And as I sat there, you know, my mind kind of kicked into gear. It said, let's break the previous record. And I broke it. I broke my record. Not with all my lifts, but with some of the lifts, yes, I did it. So what is the lesson there is that when you sit down and you are doing your reps, you are practicing your layouts, you are practicing arrays, objects, methods, whatever. You are practicing your algorithms, you are working on your application. When you are emailing recruiters, when you're applying for jobs, be conscious, be present, and think about how can I do this better? Let me push this one step further so I can be better than yesterday. Even if you feel completely depressed and unmotivated about programming today because you had a bad week at work, or you've maybe had a bunch of rejections with all the recruiters. Even when you have that day, instead of taking 1 day off and going on a binge eat or whatever, going out with your friends to start drinking, instead of destroying your day totally, take a more relaxed approach and do something boring that you've never done before. For example, if you are learning React right now and you are massively invested into React and learning React and building real applications with it, if you do not feel spending the mental power to learn new concepts about React, to build a new feature in your application for your portfolio, if you do not feel like that, just go and learn some CSS animations. And I'm sure that by doing that stuff, you'll start to gain momentum again, and you'll start thinking about how can you apply this newly found knowledge into your application, and you'll start working back again on your application. Sometimes, like learning skills is not only going forward, but it's also going sideways, re-practicing things that you've learned before, and that's gonna increase your motivation because you'll start to play. One of the biggest problems with learning stuff in general is that whenever you start learning something, it's very tedious. You have to be like very focused to understand the concept, to practice it, to do this mental rehearsal of what that thing is. Another part of learning is like play, being creative. And then if you are very far ahead in your coding journey and you are already playing with extremely complicated concepts, I'm sure you know basic concepts that you're not using as much or you haven't tapped as much into. So you can go back into the old concepts that you've learned and keep playing with them. Try to see what can you create. Maybe you went on the Apple website and you saw their animations, and then you saw how they move the AirPods whenever you scroll down. Maybe you want to look into that because you've never researched it. Go laterally, explore different things whenever you feel like you're not making progress with the main thing, and then suddenly your main thing starts to click again because you had some time off from it. Then you find the way to bring the thing that you just learned to the main thing, and then the main thing gets even better, and so on and so forth. This is one concept that I don't have a name yet for it, but I'm gonna find it soon. So you know how you have one of those characters in the video games and it has like a main mission, like to go and kill some boss or whatever. I don't know exactly how they work. But then you also have to do like side quests, and then while doing these side quests, you get extra magic, extra attack, extra defense, whatever, right? So think of those side missions that you'll be learning exactly as that. I hope this video is gonna help you. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.